July 1st, Wednesday, short week, end of day, wrap up. Tomorrow is non-farm payrolls. So the theme of today is I'm not seeing any trades I would take. The most compelling right now is in a couple of them. So one of them is Australian dollar here. I already went through my loss from last night, but we did have this impulse up and we look to be retracing down into the fib. What we do from here, I don't know, but just going to keep an eye on it. That said, again, non-farm, so really don't think I'm going to be putting much of a trade on. Switching over to gold, while we're still in this very flat range, we did technically break to an uptrend on the hourly, and we are now pulling back into this retracement of the last support zone. So we'll see if this turns into anything. Not going to get too cute. Again, non-farm payrolls. And that's really the theme of today. I could go through them all, but if we start looking, they're all just sort of milling around. I think everyone's on the summer doldrums as well as waiting for the big news event. So on the euro, I will say I'm still looking for sells, and I could start getting excited because we broke out of this initial channel on the 240. When I go into the hourly, though, it's a little less exciting because we came back into it and we're not solidly broken below. But we do seem to just have this heavy pressure up here, unable to go. Back on the daily, we're back below that big range I was mentioning. So, and clear downtrend. So we'll see what happens. On the Bitcoin, we did have a bit of a move up today. And on the 240, pretty engulfing. But that said, we're still not breaking to new highs. As you can see here, there's no reason to get too excited. And that's really that. Oil continues to trend down. I did find it interesting that we broke below this last low here, and we are now closing below these lows. So a massive downtrend in oil, and on the daily especially, nothing showing it stopping yet. So might be looking for an entry there next week, depending on how we play out. And S&P 500, I really think we're just milling around waiting to see. So we're in this range in general. Tomorrow's non-farm. I'm not going to overanalyze any of this stuff here. I think we're just bopping around until the news event comes out. And then let's see, we did gold, and yeah, that's really it. I mean, gold and Australian dollar are somewhat interesting, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow, see what happens after non-farm comes out, and see if there's a trade to take before the weekend. That said, it's a 3-day weekend, so I honestly think this is it for the week. It's likely going to end in my one loss and sitting on my hands a lot, but this is trading, right? You have to wait for setups to appear. I don't like trading before giant macro news like non-farm, and I don't really like putting trades on unless it's super clean, and holding over a 3-day weekend, especially the current administration and macro politics stuff just sometimes happens that just wonks markets out. So not really looking to take on extra risk of holding. So I'd say sadly, but I don't know if it's sad, but I guess sadly is the word that comes to mind. I don't think there's gonna be much going on this week, but at the same time, taking 1L and not blowing up the account trying to make something happen is certainly better than the inverse. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll see how the markets react to non-farm. Last time it came out, it was almost seen as a synthetic show of dollar strengthening, because it was better and yada yada. I don't want to get too macro-y economically, but the dollar certainly showed strong strength after the non-farm payrolls came out last month in June. So we will see what happens tomorrow.